Directors nowadays are treated like base-level employees, completing tasks to satisfy managers, being significantly overworked and underappreciated, and receiving harsh backlash from customers when it isn't their fault. But at the end of the day, they do their jobs. They're selling products that seem to satisfy a wide variety of customers, and the managers are afraid that if, as a result of doing this hard work, they give an employee a chance to make their own expensive new item, that it won't sell when it goes to the market. Movie studios are deadly afraid of this happening. But if 2025 has shown us anything in movies, it's that Warner Brothers is willing to take risks on exciting visionary filmmakers, and the result has clearly been paying off. Ryan Coogler's Sinners was a massive success, dominating cultural popularity. Zach Cregger's Weapons has been a late summer box office sensation, winning the likes of numerous audiences around the world. But for Paul Thomas Anderson's 10th feature, One Battle After Another, Warner Brothers gambled a few extra cards. And my goodness did they get their investments worth. Giving Paul Thomas Anderson a staggering $130 to $180 million budget to make a film with full creative liberty was more than worth the risk. This film, One Battle After Another, is a staggering cinematic achievement. Let me explain. Hi all, I'm the Grinning Critic and I love talking about movies with a grin. Now before I get started with this review, I just want to say one thing. If you love movies, I am begging you to see this film in a theatre. I fear that this film will be a film that fails at the box office. The opening weekend, while being a high for a PTA film, is not anywhere near as high as it deserves to be. The film is on track to become a flop. And I am worried that if this movie does fail, then Hollywood will become even more risk-adverse to creating films like this. Now, one thing that this movie does that's very interesting is that it takes some very stressful subject matter. A movie about revolutionaries and one of the revolutionaries' daughters getting kidnapped. And what this film does so well is being able to take such stressful subject matter and make it very accessible. I think what really helps this movie be so mainstream is just how funny it is. Viva la revolution! I wouldn't call it a comedy, but its use of humour is definitely admirable, where the humour is sprinkled in to the more serious moments to help ease the tension a little and just make this movie a bit more fun to watch. As far as the composure of this film is shot beautifully, with gorgeous cinematography and beautiful colour grading which really enhances it. The most mesmerising sequence in this film is one car chase sequence in the film's third act. The car chase sequence takes place on a really hilly road, where the hills feel as though they are waves used to help propel this very tense climax. And that is something that I've never seen before, but it was presented in such an interesting way. The musical score was very unique and somewhat simplistic, but I really loved how it enhanced these very tense sequences. Leonardo DiCaprio was incredible in his role, delivering a multifaceted performance to such a complex human being. Newcomer Chase Infinity was brilliant in her role. I hope that this film really elevates her career. Sean Penn plays Lockjaw, who's the villain in this movie, and he does such an excellent job in playing such an unlikable character. Benicio del Toro, while having very limited scenes in comparison to these other characters, really stole the show and gave some of the most memorable and funniest points in the entire film. Now, I will acknowledge that as much as I love this movie, there is one glaring issue that I have with it, but I'll be very vague about how I address it, as it is a major spoiler. Sean Penn's character's arc feels a little overdrawn, where they have one scene at the end that really just doesn't feel necessary and feels kind of forced to convey a point across, which wasn't really needed to convey across. One Battle After Another feels as though it was the work of a single American auteur. A passionate, distinct, creative voice could only have created what is bound to become a decade-defining film. I'm going to give One Battle After Another an A. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm the Grinning Critic, and don't forget to subscribe to me. It'll keep me grinning, that's for sure.